My new company does them every Monday. And it's kind of great.
Are you
The whole
stealing
company.
theirs? Bring
Um,
here.
yes. But I also I subscribe to a newsletter that has different ones.
Have a movie?
So I think we're okay. Great. All right. Hi, everyone. Happy holidays, happy new year. Given that new members are joining next month, should we wait with the election of officers for both the whole committee? No,
I don't think we need to.
okay, cool.
Yeah, because they're not gonna know us.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true. They're gonna be voting blindly anyway.
Cool. Let's go right down the agenda. We will start with the election of officers for chair and vice chair.
Nita, do you want to be chair again?
I would if people are okay. with that.
I nominate Nita to be chair again.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Thank you. All right. Holly, would you like to be vice chair again?
Unless anybody else wants to, like, I'm happy to pass the torch, like, if anyone is dying to get into the spot. And if no one is, I'm happy to do it again.
I second Holly's nomination.
This one is nominated
don't-
first.
yeah.
I nominate Holly.
Oh, okay.
You second, all in favor? All right.
Can I have like a question about that? I'm universally in support of what we just did. I'm also now thinking about logistics. Are you timing out? Is this your last year? Okay,
So you'll vote in a new vice chair next
Yeah.
January.
and are you I mean, but you're not timing out
No.
anyway, okay. I just didn't want to be in a situation where we're gonna lose both chair and vice chair in the
That
same
makes
year,
sense.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we were, then as the year went on, we just think about that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll like to interject that you guys do a great job and we love
Yes.
having you.
Oh,
Yes.
I agree with that, yeah, fantastic.
Thank you. All right. Subcommittee assignments and election of committee chairs. As previously discussed, everybody knows we have the grant committee, the cultural asset committee, and the October committee. I have a list somewhere. Who was on each committee last year and who was chairing.
I was surprised that this was on the agenda because I thought we elected the chairs in the committee meetings.
Oh. I think you can do it whichever way you prefer. Okay,
It doesn't matter.
sure. Yeah, me neither.
I think it's nice to have a chair first so they can call the meeting,
That's true.
because I think sometimes.
Yeah.
People join a committee, there's no chair, and then they never meet.
All right, let's start with grants committee. Last year, Holly, you chaired, and we have me, Laverne, Cody, and Sam on the committee. Laverne is no longer on the commission. Cody is
Yes.
still. Yep. Cool. I'm happy to stay on that committee. I don't want to chair it. Would you like?
I'm happy to keep
chairing?
chairing, but again, if anyone, including the newer people, would like to chair committee, I'm so happy to.
I nominate Holly.
Would anybody else like to join the grants committee? And what we'll do with the first committee meetings anyway is we'll send the invite to everybody so that anybody new can also join. We do also have a few commissioners who have not joined the committee yet. Not just you. You're just not. So in addition to Jennifer and Rosemary, everybody will have to join a committee. So how about you nominated Holly to stay chair? Can we get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, great. And then we'll set the actual committee members either at the next meeting or when we have the first committee meeting. Does that sound good?
Yes, so I was planning, if I was elected chair again, I was planning to call a meeting early in the new year, but maybe it should be after the February
Yeah.
meeting, when the new members have a chance to be at a full
Yeah.
CCD meeting.
That way we can do more discussion and introduction of what each committee does.
Yeah.
In person at the February meeting.
Yeah.
Rather than via email. Cool, that sounds great. All right. Artober. I was chair. We have Kelly, Holly, and Cal. I would like to not chair that committee, if at all possible. Would anyone else like to join and or chair that committee?
I'd like to join.
Okay, great.
Is there anyone else who would, I mean, I didn't come into this meeting thinking I would share that, but I'd be open to it.
Okay.
That'd be exciting, actually, but is there anyone else that has been a part of it that wants to,
Not
or
yet,
that should?
not yet.
Mhm.
Let me get the kid off
Yeah.
to college and I'll take on some more responsibilities.
Gotcha, gotcha.
A few months or 1 year?
Oh, he goes in the fall.
Ooh,
Well, it was
alright.
a big year,
Mhm,
yeah.
that's fair.
Mhm.
Um,
I Campbell should be chair of the committee. He only has to call the meetings.
right, and I'm happy to support, as Holly did me last year with things. She was the previous chair for the.
And I would
like,
stay on the committee and we can.
We work
both-
together.
That's good. I mean, it's less than ideal that a chair has never been to a single meeting. But you know, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I think we can pull together the right resources to make it work. Yeah.
That sounds great. Thank you. All right, Cultural Assets Committee. We had Laverne, Tristan, who was chair, Margaret and Barbara. So Barbara needs some friends.
I think I was on it by default because I wrote that RFP, but I would continue to be on it.
Okay, cool.
I just don't want to chair it, like, again, haven't been to a single meeting.
I'd like to be on the committee.
Right,
Great.
Yeah.
perfect. Barbara, would you chair it for now? Great.
Happy to do
I will nominate Barbara.
I second.
Is there room for discussion?
Yeah,
Not because,
See, he doesn't want me to.
no, I do very much want Barbara to do that. You said for now, so is that?
oh,
in
I
that
said
case-
in case you don't want to do
Happy
it.
to do.
Okay,
Okay,
good. Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, okay.
Great. We'll have Barbara chair the Assets Committee. And then, right, again, we'll invite
I may
everybody.
be the only person that knows what it really does, what that committee does.
Yeah, you need to revive that committee.
Yeah.
It's been fallow, I think.
Make 2025 the year of the assets. All
Well,
right,
we're still waiting. Do we know when the city is going to upgrade the website?
The full website has been updated now.
Oh,
Yep.
is it still so hard to get into? Our
Um,
part of it?
I think that depends on who you ask. I find the layout a little bit nicer in terms of like size, readability, that kind of thing. Certainly if anybody else has experienced the new website and wants to provide feedback, you're welcome to, but, yeah.
Well, one of the things the asset committee does is have those storyboards.
Yep.
And, you know, it has just always been so hard to get to them.
Oh, yep, so that is through our GIS system. And I do have, because part of the snag that Tristan had run into was actually getting logged in so that he could do the work on that. And I do have the login information for that now. So that's something that if you guys want me to come to your first committee meeting and show you how to do, maybe that would be.
Yeah,
within
that would be
to-
good.
Yeah,
While we're on the topic of the website, I just want to note that the Commission on Cultural Development page says that we meet on Thursdays.
oh,
Huh.
I will change
Good
that.
to know.
Yes, meeting second Thursday of each month, 8:30 a.m.
Okay,
The time's right.
thank you for, yeah, thank you for catching that. I
You're
fixed
welcome.
that.
Thank Rosemary Lozier. Just texted it to me.
Oh, so she thought the meeting was
Was next.
yesterday?
Or next Thursday, yeah.
Thursday.
All right.
But one of the things that we wanted to do was, in the assets committee again, was to have something for kids that was kind of a scavenger hunt on the website with historical things or arty things that are in Bangor that they could go and, like geocache. And we never did that because it was so hard to get to on the web page. So that's why I was wondering if there is a way to be more prominent. Should we work on that? Or, if we did it, is it so hard to get to that it's
Yeah.
irrelevant?
So part of just at a staff level, what has changed with the new website is that the management of certain pages has been shifted to the people more actively in those departments. So to include myself, so I have the cultural commission page, among other things. So I'm happy to work with you guys on what you want that to look like, and can make it, the cultural assets portion of it more visible and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Great.
Good start, Barbara.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's related to one thing I was thinking about for October. We've been making these maps of cultural businesses the past few years. And I was thinking for this year it might be fun to also include murals because there have been so many new murals,
Right,
which is public
yes.
art. And we could maybe combine that effort a little bit into
Good.
something.
And why not have the map on the website?
Right.
Right.
And eventually, if these kiosks get built downtown with the grant from the recreation thing, that can be added to these kiosks and you can just go up with your phone and scan the code and have all the, murals, cultural, everything, historical places, whatever, right there on your phone, right from these kiosks. So
That would be great.
that's
Yeah.
off in the future, but that would be really, really cool to add all our stuff to that.
Great. Any other election questions or points? Great. Meeting minutes. Any questions on the December meeting minutes?
I move to pass the minutes as written.
I second.
All in favor? Perfect. My report, I don't have anything to report. I think my only question is a staff question. Have we heard from Marilee if she is having that exhibition? Because her goal was to have it in December and to have it be open for tonight's First Friday.
Yeah, I have not heard anything from her since right after the December meeting and she had just clarified a few points with me about the reimbursement for the framing and that kind of thing, but I hadn't gotten any updates on the timeline, so I will reach out to her again today and just say that the commission was wondering if she had an update.
Mostly because I'd love to go see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up in that space. Or another space.
Well, wasn't it, I was gonna say, wasn't it supposed to be at the Salty Brick Market?
I thought it was supposed to be at Farmhouse.
Oh, that's right.
I think she was debating the two locations.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, it can't be at the Salty Brick Market.
correct.
I wonder if that.
Pushed her
Right.
back, yeah.
And if someone else is renting Farmhouse, then that also.
Yeah, true.
Just need to know. Cool. Yeah, we'd love to know. And then the other question is any updates from the woman who was gonna knit the scarf for?
Yeah, so, I had her meet with Anne and Tracy in Parks and Recreation. And just as a FYI for you guys, because I also didn't know this, as it turns out, putting anything on Paul Bunyan is a very hard no. So, Tracy had offered her some suggestions for some alternatives. She had come up with, kind of a cute idea of like a search for where the scarf might be somewhere else in the city. So she was gonna work with Betsy at Downtown Bangor Partnership on coordinating a different project.
Why is it such a hard no? I'm just curious.
Because once upon a time, somebody put a political thing.
Yeah,
Paul Bunyan
There's
got in a lot of trouble. It was
long history.
nationwide.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll be doing some Googling.
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah. Curiosity.
Fun reading for later.
Yes.
All right. Financial report, any questions? I think my question is, have we gotten an update from Chris Packard on how much? spent?
I have not gotten his receipts yet. Typically, what he does is he works on compiling all of that over the school break. So I would expect to be getting that from him maybe next week. So, yeah.
Great. Did anybody get to go? I missed it. I really wanted to.
I went
last
to
year.
the opening reception.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah, they had huge numbers of people.
Yeah. Like
Fun.
1,500.
Oh, excellent. Love that. That's great.
Well, it was through a counter, so they don't know if it was 1,500 separate people, but it was well over that.
That's cool. That's a
Yeah.
lot of people. Great. Any other financial report questions? Cool. So probably by next meeting, we should know a little bit more about how much exactly we'll have for spring.
Right, yeah.
Great.
I mean, I think you can safely, I mean, you can definitely safely depend on the numbers minus the full deductions
Yeah.
for Marilee and Chris, and you will perhaps have a little bit more depending on what each of them end up spending.
Yeah.
But definitely at a minimum, you'll have minus the 1,300.
Perfect. We don't have to approve those, right?
No,
Great. Committee reports. I guess there's not much to report, given that it's January, but we'll go through it anyway. Grant committee.
Nope. After the February meeting, I'll call a meeting where we'll talk about the things that were in the minutes from last meeting. Like whether we're gonna move to one cycle or if we're gonna divide it evenly or whatever, we'll discuss that. So like I guess like a mid-February meeting.
Cultural asset committee.
I think mid-February sounds good for a meeting too.
And then October. We usually don't meet until a little bit later. Because October doesn't have until October. And we put out the call for Bangor Arts Award nominations in July. So I think maybe usually what the October committee does is meet once next year's budget is set, so like May, June.
Okay,
We can also meet earlier to just talk through ideas.
yeah, well, debrief would be great.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't need to be right away, maybe when the grass is green.
Would be great. Very much looking forward to that. All right. Staff updates. Restrooms.
yes, so I don't have too much of an update. I think everyone here was also at the last meeting, but just to reiterate, there was a stipend approved for the artists. Which I think was added into the RFP that you sent me. I also just a few minutes ago got from Tracy the panel dimensions, so I can add that information into the RFP as well. So the next step will be I need to get this information to our finance department, who actually puts together the formal advertisement that looks for bids, and then I will hopefully have an update for you guys that's more comprehensive at the February meeting.
I think we'll have to update the timeline. Again, the dates we have in there.
Yeah, and so when I give that to the finance department, we'll adjust the dates depending on what that timeline actually is for them. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and we'll just discuss then. We want to make sure that artists have enough time to make the work and that we also still
Yeah.
have time to install.
Yeah.
Ideally before fall.
Would you like me to, once I have the actual final advertisement completed, would you like me to send that around to the commission just so you can see it?
Perfect. Have there been any updates on the Pickering Square artwork
Not that I'm
panel?
aware of.
Kiosk things?
I will double check with Anne, but I think that might also be at a place where you guys make a decision if you're gonna do something similar, like for the restrooms and put a bid out for artists or.
I think that the questions we've had that was open is what are the dimensions and how waterproof is the actual thing? Cause it
Yeah.
sounded to me like it was. They were maybe wooden. Things.
Yeah.
With maybe a glass front that opens.
I did
Oh.
get the dimensions, I think, from the city engineer, but I have to just dig through my emails and double check that, and I'm not sure if I actually got the materials information, so I'll check on that.
Just cause that might matter for.
Yeah.
What we put in the RFP for what. Would fit and also what. Might not get destroyed. Cool. I think one more staff question is. When, do you know when the budget? Forms are due? Feel like it was March.
It's usually sometime in March.
Okay.
I don't think we actually have a hard date yet. But it is typically in March.
Yeah. Great.
Um,
Cause I would also like to have. A budget approach meeting at some point.
Mhm.
Maybe a subcommittee, ad hoc committee.
Mhm.
To see if we can revive the calendar project. Ask for money again and. Actually, maybe we don't need to create a new ad hoc committee. We can just. Have a meeting, we can call a meeting of the calendar ad hoc committee that already exists. Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah.
And I don't know if we can do it in time for that, but ask for potentially more funding for grants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe I'd like to have that before the February meeting. If possible. So why don't I send around sometimes and I'll include everybody. Yeah, and then we go from there. We have a meeting at some point. To talk plans and ideas and other grants that you've heard of that we could apply for. Great. That was really fast.
Any update on the getting the canoe sculpture artist name?
I will
Okay.
get I will see if I can get an update on the actual timeline. I put in my little request for it. But I hadn't heard back about the timeline for that, so I will see if I can get more information.
When that happens, I think we should also send that artist an
Yeah,
update.
yeah.
An apology?
Yeah.
I found some grants just like, cause I work in the grant making space for like municipalities doing arts and culture stuff that I sent along to, and maybe Sarah also, I don't know if I sent this to you. And I CC'd Nina and Holly. I was just curious, like, what is the process of like the city of Bangor applying for grants like that? Like, cause it would be nice to be able to supplement
Yeah,
our budget.
we do actually have a grant writer employed by the city now, so I think if there were grants that you had interest in, if you send that information to me and Anne to start, then we can look at getting that situated with the grant writer. Those are ones that they want to apply for, that kind of thing.
Let me see if I sent it to you.
I'm not entirely sure of the full like nitty-gritty process in the manager's office of how they decide which ones to apply for, but if it starts with at least me and Anne, we can put it in the right directions.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, yeah, you were CC'd on this, so I'm just gonna reply all again.
So we couldn't, as a commission, decide for ourselves to apply for a grant, like that would need to, like, the city would have to decide kind of on our behalf.
I'm actually not sure about that, and my gut reaction is I think it would have to be the city, but I'm genuinely not sure, so I will find out.
I'll just like add that into my email, so just we could open the conversation.
That would be good to know before this budget meeting. right?
Yes.
'Cause if we do all this work to find these grants and the city's like, no, we don't want it.
That's right.
Yeah. And right, how much of the work we would have to or be able to do to apply for a grant and how much is just on the city grants person. Mhm. So I will wait to call the budget calendar meeting. Until we hear a little more information about grant process. And I know Anne also went to the Maine Arts Commission
She did.
meeting.
I haven't had a chance to sort of circle up with her after that, so I'm not sure what her thoughts were following that. Did
Yeah.
anybody else make it for?
That was a Monday at 10.
You went?
No,
Okay.
I was
Oh,
sending an
sorry,
email with
never
the
mind.
Yeah, I would love to hear from Anne
Yeah,
more about that to see if there's anything there that we might be eligible for. Any other thoughts, ideas? Yes.
I don't know why I'm the only person I think on this committee that has a constituency, but somebody approached me and asked me to bring this up. They love the ground mural, you know, going into the post office, the Wabanaki up the street, but they hate, they're so glad that the barriers are gone so that they can plow the street. And they would like them not to be replaced because they can't see the mural because they're too busy trying to evade the poles sticking out of the ground. I understand why they were put there, but I too find that, you know, I never look at the painting because I'm worried about running into the poles. Is there another way that we can preserve the painting without putting them back?
Isn't part of it also pedestrian safety? Like someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think part of the reason why the mural was designed in the way that it was that it's like a high hit area and like it provides a berth for pedestrians, but I also could just be blowing air, not.
No, I think you're right. That was part of the
Okay.
reasoning, and I think the polls. Part of the purpose of it too is to slow traffic down, right? To make cars pay more attention, to make them drive slower. I don't know if that's a question for Anne or if it's a question for Betsy.
What was Bangor Beautiful, right? Did it not downtown Bangor?
Yeah, it's Bangor Beautiful who did the mural, but who's responsible for the posts?
that's, that I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Well, figure out who the question's for and we will ask them. And right, I don't know if there's a legal traffic safety reason why they have to be there or if it's another.
I thought they were there, and I could be totally wrong. I thought they were there just to like have cars not drive over it for its first summer to keep it fresh.
Mm.
But I wonder if the plan is even to put them back now that like they'll have been plowed over, like it'll be snow, like if. Maybe they're gonna refresh it and then put the poles back, cause I know it was like to prevent cars from driving over it, to like preserve the
Yeah.
paint.
Yeah, I would like people not to drive over it, but I do, you know, that's such a difficult intersection anyway with the post office there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find the poles distracting.
I assume the poles were taken down because of snowplows.
That's what I assume too.
But whether or not they plan to put them back up again.
Yeah.
I mean, I also think the goal wasn't for drivers to look at the mural. It was for pedestrians to look at the mural, so you're meant to park your car and then go look at the painting. And not try to look at the painting while you're driving.
While approaching that
Right?
intersection.
Yeah.
That was said very diplomatic.
Yeah, we can find out. And then you could report back to your constituents. That's, any other thoughts, questions, any other ideas for what a project we should focus on this year? Yeah, good time.
I drove by and parked to see the mural at the Abe Lincoln School. That one was Bangor Beautiful too, but boy, it's a nice mural. They're all so great. I'd love to see them added to the calendar. I mean, the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be. And the list of resources, and we haven't updated that in the morning. Yes, our committee has stuff to
All right, I think one final question, this is probably also gonna be a February question because not everyone's here today, is does this time still work for everybody? And if it doesn't, then we can take a look at other options.
Like the second Tuesday at 8:30.
Right. Okay. Cool, then I adjourn the meeting. Bye.